Welcome to Module 9, Research and Data Analysis. And you have got to get ready to become a research powerhouse. In this module, we are unleashing the power of AI to help you uncover insights and analyze data faster than ever before. Forget spending hours digging through dusty archives or drowning in a sea of spreadsheets. We're going to show you how AI can be your personal research assistant and help you find and make sense of information at lightning speed. Let's go. Now, there's often confusion with research. You've heard me talking about research in other modules when it comes to large language models. We're going to be using Perplexity. ChatGPT will do some limited. Claude does not research at all. And even apps like Gemini, etc., are very focused on what their search model is, which is for Gemini, it's Google. For ChatGPT, it is Bing. For Perplexity, however, it's far more robust. Perplexity is great at research for two reasons, in my opinion. One, it's going to get me great content, and two, it gives me reliable sources. And it summarizes. I guess there's a third piece. So for this little experiment we're going to do over the next few minutes, let's say I'm going to research what Generation Z is saying about the future of, let's say, entertainment. And you've heard me talk about that in other models. This is kind of how we really did the research when we were trying to discover this. But again, this is a large language model also, and it uses actually multiple large language models, but that's not really as important as the point of still giving it great context like I'm talking to a person. But I'm treating Perplexity like a research assistant. So I'm sending it out in the world to get me what I need. And notice I'm being specific here. I only want articles written by Gen Z about them, not written by other people, like maybe millennials or Gen Xers. So I'm going to put it in pro mode, which is just going to get me a little bit more robust content. And now it's looking for articles. Now, maybe it can't parse that out, or maybe it can't find specific Gen Z articles written by Gen Z. Who knows? But you notice it's trying to. You can see in the work it's doing what it's trying to do and how it's trying to go get it. So it does say, as it's citing its resources, it does let me know that even though those resources are there, they're great resources and I can check them, they're accurate, so I can click on any one of them and verify it very quickly. Let's just take a look at this one as example. Perfect. So look at this. So Gen Z right away, they like analog. You look at the timestamp, it tells you where it is. But look at this. Right here, it tells me I got to pay to read this. So this may not be an article I use because frankly, I don't want to have to go around that paywall. So I may not use that one. So I may go down here. I've got a lot of other source options. So it helps me with that. So then what it did is it summarized. Now notice it said, I couldn't find any articles specifically written by Gen Z about their views on the future of entertainment. So I was too specific there, but it still gave me great resources. It still gave me great articles written that can help me with my project. And I'm going to look through this research and determine, well, what of this do I want more research on, etc., and what am I good with? By the way, what I love about Perplexity is right down here, it gives me follow-up questions. So how does this vinyl records going to affect the music industry? What will Gen Z do next? Things like that. It enhances my research. I think that's one of the most brilliant things they did with this model is it gave us support around the future. Now, I'm going to show you the difference. If I'm going to do this over here with ChatGPT on the research side, we're going to also get some responses. It's going to search Bing. So it is going out and searching Bing. You can actually see it doing this. Similar in fashion to what Perplexity is doing, although not necessarily as robust. Although some people will use it because now they can check the references. I think it's really preference. But what I love about Perplexity is that even in the free version, I'm getting robust content, accurate resources, and just the way it categorizes it is just cool. I think it's awesome. And it's way more resources. You notice some of them weren't even in the GPT. So I love that about it. This is good. It's a decent summary. I'm fine with it. But this summary has a lot more robust content. I can do a lot more with it. It's just got a lot more for me to work with on the research side. Again, it's really built like a beautiful research and search tool. And I'm not even scratching the surface on some of the features, but I can copy that. I can then add that intelligence over here to ChatGPT, and I can say, hey, compare your results with the ones I also found on Perplexity. So I can also layer these models like I've been doing all throughout the course to just make sure these are much more powerful and much more strong in general. By the way, don't you all hate that you can't just say synergize? Anyway, so I'm going to now paste this in. There's all of it along with the sources from Perplexity, which are automatically put in. If you're a student, by the way, or you have kids in your house, it's such a great tool for school. I mean, it really is amazing. So right there, it's giving me a comparison, kind of what I found versus what it found. Now, I can also do some of this in Perplexity if I want, but I like to go back and forth because I like to use multiple models when I can. Just gets me a little bit more of a robust content. So now, can you cite the sources in order? So it does. So now it's going through all the sources. Some of them came from ChatGPT, some of them from Perplexity. But you noticed, again, if you're doing any kind of research, that's really critical. You know, if you're writing an article or if you're writing a blog and you want to cite sources, it's critical that you know where the sources came from. Now, I can also go deeper with some of the research. Tell me some of the analog choices with Gen Z. Find me more articles on that. Again, if I'm doing a Google search here, this is a lot more work and it takes a lot more of my effort to try to figure out what I'm even looking for. This is where I think AI is so powerful. It's so suggestive on what you could do and how you could benefit. Okay, so then this made me think of something. Okay, so could it be that, let's say, Generation Z will have let's say, a tech renaissance? So this whole idea, when we originally did this, sparked for us a conversation about, could it be possible that Generation Z might put technology down in a lot of ways? They might have a renaissance around analog. They might reject technology. Now, I don't know if there are any articles on this, but now I'm having Perplexity do a little research. Are there any signs that show that? Is there any information that might help me figure that out? Really interesting too is it's going to take my ideas and build on it. So even right here, it says interesting that it actually is saying that even though they use technology a lot, there are some interesting trends around analog experiences. So it doesn't really give me a definitive answer, but it lets me work with my own creativity. Again, like I've said a lot, I take the mundane, the tactical away, and then my creative or my strategic kicks in differently. And so let's say I'm going to try the same thing in ChatGPT. Now, this might be because I'm really trying to be thorough, much like you'd be thorough in a research project. You know, you'd really want to research these things. And so here I'm saying the same thing. I go, help me figure out if this could signal the Gen Z reversal in tech influence or put it in the background, so to speak. So now I'm having AI collaborate with me on this research project, making it more robust. I just want to know some creative thinking. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I'm right. That isn't the point. The point is I'm trying to get the best output. And by now you've watched enough of these modules, you're seeing how it's always a collaboration. I'm always collaborating with AI like a person. It's just simple and clear and human-like. And so it says here, it's unlikely that Gen Z will do that. Okay, so maybe my assumption is off. Maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe there's not enough news or information out there. Maybe not enough Gen Z have their own families for this to become kind of a thing that's playing out in society. But it's just something I was thinking about. And so now I'm just going to say, okay, now I'm going to totally change the subject. I'm going to go a different direction for my research. So again, I'm using the models and I'm balancing the two models because I like Perplexity's research, but I'm also leveraging the very powerful large language model strictly of GPT. Now, I could also do some of this in Perplexity. I just want to be clear. You don't necessarily have to leave that model. I am doing this because of choice, because I'm probably going to then use ChatGPT to do different things with the information. So with this, I'm saying, okay, so could you predict what will happen with Gen Z based on your amazing knowledge of psychology? So let's just kind of let it do some work. Now adding its heavy large language model features. Can we talk about the psychology of it? Can we talk about how they're maybe not going to use tech at home or work or with family, or maybe not going to let their kids use it or something of that nature? So I then pasted in this other information that I got from Perplexity, added it to the prompt, and now I'm letting ChatGPT work even more. Now you're probably starting to see some things here coming out of this. Forgetting about the content for a second, you're noticing not only the heavy collaboration, but the fact that I'm constantly resetting my goal. I'm constantly changing my outcome. I'm getting better as a user of this technology just in how I'm framing questions. And you're probably seeing this progression. For you on the best practice side, you're going to do this exact same thing. You're going to constantly in your research, you're going to be correlating ideas. You're going to be focusing on new things. You're going to be expanding your thoughts and your research tools. And I might even look for videos in this case. Are there videos that will support this? Videos I can reference, videos I can use in other ways. It's super critical that I'm analyzing that because I might want to add that to my research. Depends on what my use case is, right? So I might be using this for a research project, a paper, an article, a blog, something for work, something with a client. But the speed at which you are now able to use these models, and we've been using Perplexity and ChatGPT, I'm using these models so effectively that when I copy and paste these and turn them into something else, in this case, I'm going to put them into a Grammarly. Now what I'm able to do is now I can add my own human elements into this research. And this is where I think your own wisdom, your own knowledge, your own experience starts to really amplify. I take the content I have from the AI models, I now put it into Grammarly. I can edit it, work with it, massage it, change it, and adapt it the way I need to. I'm in control here, which is always the case. That's always our goal. I'm in control. Now, a couple different things to show you here. I've got different models I can use. You can research all the differences, but there is a new feature inside GPT called Canvas. So I want to show you how Canvas works. This is one of my favorite features in AI right now, especially on the large language model side. So can you put that into a Canvas so I can edit? Now look at what Canvas will do. Inside paid ChatGPT, Canvas will expand and give me a document on the right that I can actually edit. So what do I mean by that? So it's got all my research. There are my citations. All this information is in there. But now, instead of having AI every time, by the way, this is, as of this video, fairly new feature. So now I can immediately type right into the AI, into what it's built. This Canvas lets me add my own content. I don't have to take it to Grammarly anymore. Also, I can have AI help me in the document change things. I can go right here and highlight this. I can say, ask ChatGPT, and I can say, hey, quickly, can we maybe change this to a more powerful, contextual commentary? So AI will go in, fix it, boom, new headline. I could do that over and over. I can go down through this document, add my own changes, or I can ask AI to add changes for me. I can reprompt inside the Canvas. This is what I love about Canvas. Probably one of my favorite features in AI, like I said, especially around writing. I can also have it clean it up. I can have it change it. I can have it add all kinds of different emojis and polish it and rewrite it and work on it and make it better. And that's what it's doing now. I click polish, it cleans it up even more. Again, a collaboration. That's the way these models have been built. That's the way they are continuously being iterated upon, where we can constantly be collaborating with the AI tool. This Canvas, to me, we could do a whole course on Canvas. It's so cool, and it's such a great feature. So now I don't even have to put it in Grammarly. I can keep it right here in Canvas, edit it down, put it right into a Word document, copy paste it over, have it make it into a Word document, however I want to do it. If you still want to use if you still wanted to use Grammarly, you could. Certainly, though, you no longer need to if you're using ChatGPT Canvas. Now you don't have to do that. So you can say, hey, I need to download that in a Word doc. bam, there it goes, analyzing. So again, these tools, remarkable how they're changing just in the time it took us to start building this content and putting it out to you. There have been iterations that we had to add to the content. The point of all this is when you're doing a research project, you've got to get in there, use the tools every day, no matter what the tools are, so that you're practicing that when new features come out, you're ahead of the game. And right here, here's our completed research project, ready to go, citing the examples, putting it all together for me to continue to edit and do something with. Completed the research project. And I can continue to add to this, continue to build, continue to grow with it, continue to modify and edit in all the ways that I'm comfortable with. But you're starting to see how these collaborative AI environments, especially with Canvas, I'm able to now take the research, do something powerful with it. And I hope this gets you ready because, man, these tools are amazing and it's time to get started. Very exciting stuff. Love, love, love it. Okay, congratulations. You are now equipped to be a research rock star with AI as your sidekick. And with these tools at your disposal, no data set is too big, no question too complex. But remember, AI is your research assistant, not your brain. Always apply your own critical thinking and expertise to these results. Now, let's see how AI can help you create and manage digital content like a pro.